Well, good morning. Welcome to Thoughts Can Change Your Life with me, Reverend Wolak. I'm here each and every day at 8 a.m., and we get to explore this thing called life together. And we explore it by asking questions because we fully understand that questions broaden our perspective. Questions give us answers. Questions allow us to develop meaning in life. If we're not questioning, then we might as well be an amoeba. So we're just sort of existing. We're just sort of living. We're not really conscious creators. And here's the thing. We are conscious creators. We've just been domesticated to not believe that we are. And so my thought today was, who's your daddy? Who's the master of your life? And I'm going to tell you this. There's no more excuses. You are the master of your mind. You have the ability to place your mind and focus. You have the ability to think new thoughts. You have the ability to continue to think unconsciously. You have the ability to think negative thoughts. You have the ability to think positive thoughts. You have the ability to think expansive thoughts. You have the ability to think thoughts that contract. All of that is a choice. Whether you believe it or not, you are always, always, always at choice to where you put your focus, to how you decide to think. And realize that however old you are, society around you, your parents, society, religions, businesses, they've all been there doing their job of domesticating you. And whether you believe it or not, you have been domesticated. We all have. So our job is to come out of domestication. And in order to come out of domestication, we've got to think for ourselves. And we've got to think new thoughts. We've got to think different thoughts. We've got to think expansive thoughts. We've got to start asking questions. Why am I having that thought? Is that something I consciously chose to have? Probably not. I didn't consciously choose to feel that way. If you're watching the news, let me ask you a question. Do they bombard you with the same story over and over and over and over and over again? You know, I don't watch the news, but every day I'm in the gym. And some of the days I'm on the elliptical. When I'm on the elliptical, there's TVs in front of me. I'm not listening to them. They're just there, and they've got the subtexts on. And I'll glance up occasionally, and guess what? It's the same thing over and over and over again. And so what's happening? The television, by the stories they're putting out there, are domesticating you. And you don't even know it. Don't even know it. I had some fun yesterday. I am a mischievous person, in case you don't know it. But someone posted this question on Facebook and had a picture of all these different types of sodas, pops, whatever you are. And the comment was down below, let's settle this once and for all. What do you call these? And people were writing in soda pop, yada, yada, yada. You know what I wrote down? Exactly, Lori. I wrote down poison. Because in my mind, that's what they are. And you think back, I remember going back, the big thing back years ago was when Pepsi signed Michael Jackson, to be their representative. And he would be doing his dance and singing, Pepsi, yeah, everyone see the Pepsi can. What does Pepsi have in it? Sugar, refined sugar. What does refined sugar do to the body? It breaks down the immune system. The more refined sugar you eat, the more you break down your immune system, the more you're susceptible to disease. To me, that's poison. Here's the thing that I found out, and I talked about this a little bit last week. It's easy to get addicted to sugar. Sugar is like cocaine, crack. I found by just having a couple candies a day, I found, oh my God, I got addicted. I'm still craving sugar. It's been a week. I'm still craving sugar, and I didn't think I had that much. we're like lobsters. We get in a pot of warm water and we think everything's good. But the flame underneath is making it hotter and hotter and hotter. And pretty soon, we don't even realize we're boiling and boiling water, and that ain't good for us. That's a real good analogy of what domestication does. It numbs us to where we really are. It numbs us to what is good for us. Here's a fascinating thing as I've been talking to people this last week and the prior weeks, is that a lot of people are going through some for different reasons, stress things. And what happens to people when they go through stress things, they go back and revert to bad habits. Instead of meditating, instead of doing affirmations, instead of doing prayer work, instead of releasing, instead of doing deep breathing, all the things that would bring them out of where they are, they're not doing that. Isn't that fascinating? Why? They weren't domesticated into it. Wouldn't it be great if you had a child and you domesticated it into believing that meditation every morning was good, that deep breathing was wonderful, and that became their go-to habit when they were stressed or going through conflict of any sort? Wouldn't that be phenomenal? I would love knowing that. I can't, but I would love to go back and bring my boys up a bit differently. Neither of my boys meditate. I'll just share that with you. For whatever reason, they haven't embodied it. Neither of my boys do my deep breathing. They haven't embodied it. And what do I do about that? I love them. I accept that that's where they are. I've accepted I cannot change them. But here's the thing. They know what I do every day, and I am an example. And maybe if they choose someday, that example will cause them to question and maybe make a different decision. But I can't be attached to that, because if I'm attached to that, it takes me into pain. It takes me out of consciousness. I am no longer the master of my mind. Someone else is the master of my mind. Anytime you're attached to someone else's approval, you've given up the mastery of your mind. Anytime you're not questioning why you're doing things, you're giving up the power. You're no longer the master of your mind. Anytime you believe you're a victim to circumstance, you're not the master of your mind. Only you control what you think about and how you view what your thoughts are. Only you do. No one else determines what feeling you attach to a particular event. And if you're the only one that determines that, guess what? Whether you want to know it or not, you're the master of your mind. So if you're all funked out, you're choosing to be funked out, either by not choosing to not be or choosing to not do anything. So, Astha, I don't know how to say that. Astha. If I'm saying that right, tell me. Astha asked the question. She says, sir. I guess I'm a sir now. Is that like to sir with love? Maybe that's too old for most of you, but sir, what would be a perfect routine? Like what time we should wake up to get up to optimal benefits of meditation and chakra balancing? Whatever works for you. There is no right routine. It's whatever works for you. I can tell you what I do, but it works for me. I wake up at 4:45. At 5:15, I do deep breathing with my wife for 20 minutes. After we do deep breathing, we meditate for 30 minutes, silent. After that, I spend some time with my wife. Then I do some spiritual reading. Then I lead a guided meditation in the morning. but I won't go through my whole day. I have mala beads, wrist mala beads, and I do affirmations when I'm driving, affirmations when I'm walking, because I want to feed my subconscious mind. And every late afternoon or early evening, I do a second meditation. Ideally, I would tell you that meditation should be 20 minutes twice a day. First thing when you wake up, and then about late afternoon, early evening, so you can unwind from your day and start your evening fresh. And then I would tell you, Asta, that you should, right before you go to bed, express gratitude for everything in your life. That's a simple practice. Just start doing something. Just build a practice, period. And by building a practice, you'll start to feel whether or not it works for you, and then you adjust. Keep listening to these videos or go to my YouTube channel. Just go to Revly Wolak on YouTube. I've got a whole section on spiritual practices. I think I've got now about 830, 840 videos out there that you can find a topic and you can research it. I'm not saying I'm the expert, but I'll get you thinking, and that's my job, is to get you thinking. Here's the key thing. Kenny says, throw away your TV. Kenny, I'm not throwing away my TV because I like to watch sports. I like to learn how to cook. I like to project my iPad, YouTube onto my TV and get the big screen. Yesterday, I spent an hour and a half watching a video of this guy doing a trek around Mount Kailash. And it took me back to two and a half years ago when I did it. So the TV's how you use it, Kenny. That's the key thing. And Asta, journaling is a wonderful practice. I have a journal. I'm not an avid journaler, but when something important comes, I do write it down. Well, everyone, I've gone over what I want to talk about today. I've got places to go, people to see, things to do. Remember, who's the master of your mind? You are, whether you know it or not. The key is, can you become conscious and start making decisions about your life for yourself? No matter what you do, I want you to know I love you and I accept you just like you are. Go create your great day. Aloha, everyone.